In the late 1960s and early 1970s, a serial killer terrorized Northern California. He shot couples parked in their cars at night. He stabbed 2 students at a lakeside picnic in broad daylight. He shot a cab driver dead in the middle of San Francisco. And then, again and again, he wrote about it. Taunting letters to newspapers and police, signed with a symbol nobody could forget. He called himself the Zodiac. He claimed to have killed 37 people. Only 5 murders have ever been officially confirmed. And after more than 50 years, he has never been identified. This is the horrifying case of the Zodiac killer. The first confirmed attack happened on December 20th, 1968, near Vallejo, California. 17-year-old David Faraday and 16-year-old Betty Lou Jensen were shot and killed while sitting in a parked car off Lake Herman Road late at night. Betty was found 30 feet from the vehicle. David was still alive when police arrived, but died on the way to the hospital. At the time, nobody knew this was only the beginning. 7 months later, on July 4th, 1969, the killer struck again. Near Blue Rock Springs Park, just minutes from the first crime scene, he approached another parked car with a flashlight and opened fire, shooting 22-year-old Darlene Ferrin and 19-year-old Michael Mageau. He walked away. Then he came back and shot them both again. Darlene died. Mageau survived. Within an hour, someone called the police and claimed responsibility for both attacks. Mageau later described his attacker as a young, stocky white male, around 26 to 30 years old, roughly 5'8", with light brown curly hair and a large face. Then the letters began. On August 1st, 1969, 3 newspapers received identical handwritten letters from someone claiming to be the killer. The letters contained specific details about the murders that only the killer could have known. Each one came with a piece of a coded cipher, which he demanded be published or he would kill again. The letters were signed with a distinctive symbol, a circle with a cross through it, the mark that would come to define him. 3 days later, another letter arrived at the San Francisco Chronicle that opened with the now infamous line, quote, "This is the Zodiac speaking." It was the first time he used that name publicly. On August 8th, a school teacher and his wife managed to crack one of the ciphers. The decoded message read, quote, "I like killing because it is so much fun. It is more fun than killing wild game in the forest, because man is the most dangerous animal of all. The best part of it is that when I die, I will be reborn in paradise, and those I have killed will become my slaves. I will not give you my name because you will try to slow down or stop my collecting of slaves for the afterlife." On September 27th, 1969, near Lake Berryessa in Napa, California, the Zodiac attacked 2 college students picnicking by the water. 22-year-old Cecilia Shepard noticed a man watching them from behind a tree. He eventually walked out wearing a black executioner-style hood with the Zodiac symbol stitched onto his chest, carrying a gun, a knife, and a pre-cut length of rope. He tied both victims up and stabbed them repeatedly. Cecilia died at the hospital. Brian Hartnell survived despite being stabbed 6 times in the back. Investigators later found a message written in black paint on the door of Brian's car, listing the dates of all 3 previous attacks alongside the words, "Buy knife," next to that day's date. Less than 2 weeks later, on October 11th, 1969, the Zodiac shot and killed San Francisco cab driver Paul Stein with a bullet to the head. Witnesses across the street watched him calmly wipe down the inside of the cab before walking away. They described a white male, 25 to 30 years old, stocky, with reddish-brown hair and heavy-rimmed glasses. A police unit responded almost immediately, but a miscommunication from dispatch, which incorrectly described the suspect as a black male, sent officers driving straight past a white male matching the real description perfectly. That man disappeared into a nearby park. The Zodiac later referenced this exact encounter in a letter, making it almost certain that two police officers had unknowingly walked past the most wanted killer in America and let him go. Letters kept arriving through 1970 and 1971, each one more disturbing than the last. One threatened to shoot out the tires of a school bus and gun down children as they tried to escape. Another included diagrams of bombs he claimed he was building. His last confirmed letter arrived in 1974, claiming he had killed 37 people. It also, inexplicably, included a movie review. In 2002, San Francisco police extracted a partial DNA profile from saliva left on a stamp on one of the letters. It wasn't detailed enough to name a single suspect, but it was enough to eliminate several. 3 suspects have drawn the most serious attention over the decades. The first is Earl Van Best Jr., put forward by his own son, Gary Stewart, in a book. Best bore a notable resemblance to the composite sketch from the Stein killing, and a handwriting expert initially called the writing on Best's marriage certificate a virtually certain match to the Zodiac's letters. It later turned out that handwriting belonged to the priest who performed the ceremony, not to Best. Requests to test Best's DNA against the 2002 sample were denied. The second, and by far the most famous, is Arthur Lee Allen, the theory popularized by author and San Francisco Chronicle cartoonist Robert Graysmith, whose work became the basis for the 2007 film Zodiac. On the day of the Lake Berryessa stabbing, Allen told his family he was going scuba diving at that exact lake. He came home that evening covered in blood, with a bloody knife in his car. A friend named Don Cheney told police Allen had referred to himself as the Zodiac before the killer ever used that name publicly, and had told him directly that he planned to hunt people with a gun and a flashlight. When police interviewed Allen, he mentioned that his favorite book was The Most Dangerous Game, a novel about hunting human beings, the same book the Zodiac referenced in his very first letter. Allen was also wearing a Zodiac brand watch, the same symbol the killer signed his letters with. A search of his home turned up dissected animals in his freezer and bloody knives. A jail inmate later claimed Allen confessed to killing Paul Stein. In 1991, surviving victim Michael Mageau, who had seen the killer's face, was shown a photo lineup and picked out Arthur Lee Allen. Despite all of it, Allen's fingerprints did not match the ones found at the Stein scene, and his DNA did not match the 2002 sample. He died of a heart attack in 1992, never charged. The third suspect is Lawrence Kane, a man who suffered brain damage in a 1962 car accident that reportedly affected his impulse control. The sister of the second victim identified Kane as a man who had stalked and harassed her sister in the weeks before the murder. Officer Don Fook, one of the 2 officers who unknowingly passed the Zodiac on the street after the Stein killing, later said that of hundreds of photographs shown to him over 20 years, Kane was the closest match to the face he remembered. Kane also lived just a 6-minute walk from where Stein's cab picked up its final passenger. When Kane moved to South Lake Tahoe in 1970, a woman named Donna Lass disappeared there that same year. She had worked at the same hotel as Kane. And in 1970, a woman named Kathleen Johns, who escaped after being tricked into the Zodiac's car and threatened at length, later picked Lawrence Kane out of a photo lineup as her attacker. Still, Kane's handwriting could never be definitively matched to the letters, and no DNA comparison against the 2002 sample has ever been publicly confirmed. 2 police officers passed the Zodiac on a San Francisco sidewalk and let him walk away. Fingerprints, DNA, handwriting analysis, eyewitness identifications, decades of dedicated investigators, and none of it has ever produced a single arrest. At least 5 people are confirmed dead. As many as 32 more may be. And the man who signed his letters with a circle and a cross is either still out there somewhere, or he died, quietly, decades ago, without ever being exposed. What do you think happened? Drop your theory in the comments. And if you want more cases like this, subscribe to Mystery Minute. We'll be here every week, digging up the truth.